As summer approaches and more Ohioans are getting vaccinated, many businesses are thinking about what the new normal will look like post-pandemic. Certainly not everyone can work from home, and a new poll from Morning Consult last month showed 2/3 of employees who can want to return to the office as soon as possible. But that same poll also showed 84% enjoyed working remotely. Statehouse correspondent Jo Ingles takes a look at working from home and what's next for companies and for employees who have been doing that.
Jen Johns is the leader of a group that represents doctors in Northeast Ohio, and she says her work-from-home experience during the past year has been good.
Eliminating that commute time, I think really helps from a stress perspective and a work-life balance perspective. And so I think it's nice that we're not having to drive in every day of the week. But I do think we miss the camaraderie of being together and, being social with one another.
Katrina Boylan of Columbus says working from home has proven to be successful.
Feeling a lot of corporate managers and things were skeptical about work from home because it was a fear I had, would I be as productive at home? Would I be able to balance the work and the life without having a separation? And I know for me personally, I've been pleasantly surprised at how productive I am, to the point that my manager actually doesn't necessarily want me back in the office.
Both Johns and Boylan think their new normal will involve splitting hours of work between home and the office. Work from home is not a new concept for Nationwide Insurance. The Columbus-based company has been allowing some employees to do that for years, but the new normal will have half the workforce coming in each week.
But in that week where associates are coming back into the office, there will be some flexing. They can come in, 3 days a week, 4 days a week, but there is still going to be that hybrid approach. And so in that, we are also looking at more of our associates having the ability to stay at home and work at home permanently. And so all in all, when it's said and done, we'll probably look at 50% of our workforce that will remain permanent in a work from home environment.
And with so many people working from home, the company is able to be more efficient by not having to lease as much corporate space.
We actually saved on the brick and mortar in November 2020 when we moved to the 4 main facilities. So we have already reduced our footprint from a facility perspective. And so I don't, you never know what the future may hold, but we are already ahead of that game in terms of the facility strategy.
Other companies are following suit. Recently, Chase, which has 20,000 workers in the Columbus area, announced it would vacate the majority of the space that surrounds Capitol Square. Almost 1 in 5 office spaces in central Ohio are vacant, the highest rate in a decade, according to commercial real estate company CBRE. And a report from the University of Cincinnati's Economics Center predicts many workers won't come back to their downtown offices. But that's not the case in Cleveland, where office space leasing was up last year. Businesses that depend on big companies have had to adapt to employees working from home, such as Bernie's Cheesecakes in Delaware.
I actually thought, since most of my business is providing cheesecakes for small independent restaurants and taverns, that I probably would not have any business during this time. I was very surprised when the businesses reached out to me, because when people were allowed to do takeout, they wanted absolutely everything that was on the menu at their beck and call for takeout. People did not skimp at all in what they wanted to order.
She wonders how things will change once people return to work. So does the head of the Ohio Restaurant Association.
So I think it's going to be a little bit different, but we are anticipating a slow return into the urban centers by employers, which will affect 2 things. Breakfast and coffee and all those things that people do in the morning, driving back and forth to the office. That's probably changed pretty significantly, no question. And then business lunches, clearly nowhere near what it was before, right? That doesn't mean that people still don't order out or maybe go out of their house, when COVID, continues to get better. But it's different than taking 3 or 4 days a week and going out to lunch within a 1.5 mile radius, that you can walk to from your office, things like that. Those things do feel like they've changed.
Another thing that's changed, there's now a shortage of restaurant workers.
98% of them talk to us about staffing challenges they're having. So it's become now the number one issue. It was for the longest time just trying to keep restaurants open. And then it was to try to get financial support, to make up for the government shutdowns. And now it's, I need staff. And so, it keeps shifting through this pandemic.
But workers and groups that advocate for them have said the staffing shortages in the restaurant industry are related to workers wanting better pay and safer work environments because they cannot choose to work from home. There are also long-term questions about taxes. The conservative Buckeye Institute has filed suit over the municipal income taxes paid by employees who live in different cities than their offices and were ordered by the state to work from home last year.
And a Republican-sponsored bill would require that employees pay income taxes where the work is performed. Cities say that would be devastating to their budgets, especially to safety forces. Jo Ingles, Statehouse News Bureau.